The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Energy and Transport Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis says that BPL deal is going to protect customers, giving details in the House on the agreement for engines. Meanwhile, Colby-Davis files criminal libel complaint against a woman over Facebook claims. And efforts underway to set up a cannabis authority. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, October 17th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll be getting some details about RBC and what they planned for the auto show this weekend and the Mall Marathon, the Bahamas Motor Dealers Association auto show. And later in business, we're talking with the Bahamas Development Bank about their Strategic Development and Initiatives Unit. That's all ahead, but first it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, BPL will have the opportunity to take back full control over the generation capacity now being provided through a 30-year power purchase agreement with Bahamas Utilities Holdings, a subsidiary of FOCAL, once BPL is financially stable. That's according to Minister of Energy and Transport JoBeth Colby-Davis. She was speaking in Parliament yesterday. A day earlier, officials commissioned 2 dual-fuel turbine engines, which will add 62 megawatts to the new Providence grid as part of the agreement. Colby-Davis saying she wanted to clarify and declare a few things in the House, saying that the engines are not being rented by BPL, and that it was a power purchase agreement, which includes the cost of fuel and the capacity, not a rental. She said, quote, "Nothing has been divested out of the hands of BPL. In these agreements, there are opportunities for when BPL gets in a better and stronger financial position for them to take full ownership and control of that portion of generation, whether they do it through that relationship or through them getting the necessary capacity that they need to generate on their own." The 2 dual-fuel engines can run on both diesel and LNG. Colby-Davis said that they are also significantly more efficient than older rental engines at the power plant at Clifton, which she noted will also be moved under the PPA. Meanwhile, Minister of Energy, Colby-Davis, also filing a complaint with police accusing a woman of criminal libel over comments she made about the Elizabeth MP on Facebook. Colby Davis telling NASA Guardian yesterday that she's also instructed her attorney to file a civil suit against the woman. In a letter sent to Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando this week, Colby Davis wrote that the allegations posted on social media are an attempt to smear her public image. She asked for police action to be taken against the Facebook user. The individual runs a Facebook page where she streams video content. In a video posted to Facebook on Tuesday night, which was still available to view yesterday, the woman made several allegations against Colby Davis and others. Colby Davis's attorney, Owen Wells of McKinney, Turner & Co., also wrote to Fernando requesting action against the woman on his client's behalf. Two women accused of stealing money while working for the government making their first court appearance Wednesday. Prosecutors allege that Raquel Johnson stole $87,160.60 from the Road Traffic Department in Eleuthera. Sharika Hall is accused of stealing $170,400 from the post office in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. Both women deny the accusations at their arraignment before Senior Magistrate Kendra Kelly. Johnson's bail set at $20,000 and her trial scheduled to begin January 21st. Hall's bail is set for $35,000 and her trial set for February 4th through 6th. A man who vandalized the Columbus statue in 2021 while trespassing on the grounds of Government House. He's pleaded guilty now. 40-year-old Shevardnadze Smith Wednesday pleaded guilty to causing damage and trespassing when he appeared before Senior Magistrate Kendra Kelly for his trial. On October 9th, 2021, Smith unlawfully entered Government House grounds and started smashing the monument to Christopher Columbus with a sledgehammer, causing $2,000 in damage. Smith was subdued and arrested on site. The incident, captured on a cell phone video that went viral. Smith's lawyer, Levan Johnson, asked the court to make a compensation order or impose fine. He said that Johnson was remorseful and that his actions had, quote, brought shame to his family. Magistrate Kelly said that, quote, many Bahamians believe that certain parts of history shouldn't be celebrated, but we don't make these decisions on our own. For you to go on government property and destroy a statue is unacceptable. Kelly ordered Smith to pay $2,000 in compensation. He also has to pay a $5,000 fine to avoid spending a year in prison on the causing damage charge. Smith has to pay a $50 fine to avoid spending 1 month in prison for trespassing. And Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, says the government is linking the Cannabis Authority, the first step toward getting the country's marijuana industry up and running. In July, Parliament passed legislation that paves the way for the creation of a controlled system for cannabis use for medical and religious purposes. However, Darville noted that the Cannabis Authority has to be in place and a digital platform needs to be rolled out before cannabis can be legally dispensed in the country. Overseas, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky saying today that support from his embattled nation's Western allies is key to his victory plan to end the country's devastating war with Russia, as he laid out details of the plan to European Union leaders. He told reporters the plan aims to strengthen Ukraine and pave the way for a diplomatic solution to end the conflict on Europe's eastern flank. Zelensky later shuttling across Brussels to meet with NATO defense ministers. The EU is a key supporter of Ukraine, a candidate member of the 27-nation bloc, as it fights Russia's invasion that began more than 2.5 years ago. Zelensky outlining the 5-point plan to Ukraine's parliament Wednesday without disclosing confidential elements that have been presented in private to key allies, including the United States. And Pakistani police firing tear gas and charging at student protesters who ransacked a college building today as anger spread over an alleged on-campus rape. Tensions have been high on college campuses across the country since reports about the alleged rape in the eastern city of Lahore went viral on social media. Protesters have broken out in 4 cities so far. Protests have so far. The latest violence started when hundreds of students demonstrated outside a campus in the Punjab province. They burned furniture and blocked a key road in the city, disrupting traffic before ransacking a college building. Police responded by swinging batons and firing tear gas to disperse them. In a statement, police say they arrested 150 students on charges of disrupting the peace. And a special court in Bangladesh issuing arrest warrants today for former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and 45 others, including her close aides, on charges of crimes against humanity during a student-led uprising in July and August that forced her to flee the country. The prosecutor is saying that the Dhaka-based International Crimes Tribunal, under Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus, the country's interim leader, issued the arrest warrants in response to 2 petitions submitted by the prosecution. The prosecutor saying the head of the tribunal issued the orders in the presence of other judges. Hasina fled the country to India on August 5th after weeks of violent protests over government job quotas in which hundreds of people died. Protesters and prosecutors say in the petition that Hasina, her close aides, and security agencies were responsible for killing the protesters and others. And National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Climate Prediction Center says there is a 60% chance that a weak La Nina event will develop this autumn and could last until March. La Nina is part of a natural climate cycle that can cause extreme weather across the planet, and its effects vary from place to place. Although there's no guarantee how this La Nina will play out, there are some general trends. Experts say northern parts of South America could see more rain than usual. Southern regions of the U.S. and parts of Mexico could be drier than average, and the northern tier of the U.S. and southern Canada could be wetter than average. La Nina is the cool phase of the El Niño Southern Oscillation, a naturally occurring global climate pattern that involves changes in wind and ocean temperatures in the Pacific and can cause extreme weather across the planet. El Niño is the warm phase and happens when trade winds that typically blow across the Pacific towards Asia weaken, allowing warm ocean waters to pile up along the western edge of South America. But during La Nina, the trade winds intensify and cold water from the depths of the sea rises up, resulting in cooler than average ocean temperatures in the eastern Pacific. It's time for sports, brought to you by the 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup. And on a dagger tie-breaking three-point shot from nearly the logo on Wednesday, the New York Liberty defeated the Minnesota Lynx and have taken a 2-1 series lead in the WNBA championship. Bahamian Jonquil J.J. Jones and the Liberty now just one win away from their first title. Sabrina Ionescu was huge for the Liberty with a couple of three-point shots in the final minute of the game, including the one from nearly the logo at half court with 1 second left on the clock. The Minnesota Lynx failed to get off a shot in the final second of the game, and the Liberty won 80-77 in Minneapolis Wednesday. Again, they've taken a 2-1 lead in the best-of-5 series. And from the NBA, Bahamian professional basketball player Kai Jones is making waves with the LA Clippers during the NBA preseason. In his first 3 games, Jones showcasing his potential, averaging 8.3 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 2.6 blocks per game. Shooting efficiency hitting 63.1% from the field. Read more about that in today's Guardian Sports section. From baseball, Major League Baseball, the LA Dodgers routing the Mets 8-0. They've taken a 2-1 lead in the National League Championship Series. And Serena Williams says she had a benign bronchial cyst the size of a small grapefruit removed from her neck. She's saying that all is okay, though. The retired tennis star, who turned 43 last month, posted Wednesday on social media that she found a lump on her neck in May, had an MRI exam, and was told she didn't need to get it removed if she didn't want to. But she said it kept on growing. After more tests, including a biopsy that was negative for cancer, Williams said her doctor said she should have the procedure. She showed video of herself in a hospital bed and wrote, quote, "This is me removing it. I'm feeling so grateful and fortunate everything worked out, and most of all, I'm healthy." In a separate social media post, she said she's still recovering but getting better. Williams announced her retirement shortly before playing in the 2022 U.S. Open, her last tournament. At sports, brought to you by the 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup, coming to Nassau, October 23rd through 28th at the Andre Rogers National Stadium. 6 countries will be competing for the championship title: Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Curacao, the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Martin, and the Bahamas. 17 thrilling games over 6 days. Come out and support the home team October 23rd through 28th and follow the hashtag OutaHair24. It is time for your first look at weather for today. We've got a surface trough in the southeast Bahamas, along with a frontal boundary drifting across the northwest Bahamas. That's creating some unsettled weather and resulting in strong gusty winds and rough, hazardous seas throughout the country, and that's going to go into the weekend. As a result of this, boaters are advised to remain in port due to hazardous marine conditions associated with the passage of that front that's moving. Strong to near gale force winds expected to begin across the northern and northwest Bahamas today, the central Bahamas today, and the southeast Bahamas by late Friday afternoon. Flooding is possible in low-lying and flood-prone areas during heavy or prolonged rainfall events, and everyone's advised to exercise caution along northern and eastern coastal roadways and seawalls, as sea swells are expected to affect those areas by tonight. Beachgoers in the northern and northwest Bahamas should stay out of the water due to the hazardous rip currents and rough seas. So again, strong to near gale force winds and rough seas with breaking waves of 10 to 12 feet in the northern, northwest, and central Bahamas today, building to 11 to 13 feet in the northern and northwest islands along north and easterly shores. So, your forecast for today for the northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, partly cloudy to cloudy. Pretty much the same for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence. And across the country, partly cloudy to cloudy conditions expected in the central and southeastern Bahamas today. High temperatures, we're looking at highs getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. We'll have a look at the tropics and your extended outlook in our next weather check.
Wake up, it's a new day.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing today's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
The future of driving is here, and it's electric. Welcome to EV City, Easy Car Sales' new home for electric vehicles. Whether you want an affordable model or a luxury ride, EV City has the perfect electric car for you. Don't just take our word for it. Come test drive the power, the smoothness, and the savings. You'll love electric after just one ride. Cut your driving costs in half and say goodbye to gas stations for good. Visit EV City on the highway through the Solomon Service Road and drive into the future today. Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
You are invited to the 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium, October 23rd through 28th, 2024. Bringing the action will be the national teams from Cuba, Curacao, Dominican Republic, U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Martin, and Team Bahamas. There will be 3 games daily from October 23rd to 27th, and the championship gold and bronze games on October 28th. Don't you miss it. The 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium. Save the date, set your alerts, and be there.
We wish you a new car to drive, a new home for a growing family, the trip of a lifetime. Start now with CIBC Caribbean for everything you're dreaming of this holiday season. Apply for a loan online at CIBCFCIB.com. Conditions apply.
Bahamas, you all ready? The biggest and best festival is back. It's the International Cultural Wine and Food Festival, October 19th and 20th, right at the historic Fort Charlotte. From 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday and 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday, we're bringing you food, drinks, and culture from all over the world. That's right, 20 countries, no passport needed. You hungry yet? And guess what? You can use your sound digital currency or pay cash at the gate. We more than like that. And for just $10 in advance, $15 at the gate, you can eat, drink, and party with the world. And if you're bringing the kids, they get in for just $3 in advance. And Saturday night, don't miss the vibes, because from 7 to 10 p.m., the one and only Visage Band is hitting the stage to keep the energy high. Plus, we get plenty parking, so no need to worry about that. Get your advance tickets today. Check out our website and Facebook for pre-sale info. Fort Charlotte, October 19th and 20th. Be there or miss out on the best time of the year. It's the International Cultural Wine and Food Festival. Don't forget about the spooky haunted house.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. Grooving all week with you. These days are all.
Saturdays are going to be your happiest days. Our exciting new Saturday lineup premieres October 19th on Guardian Radio 96.9.
These happy days are yours and mine. These happy days are yours and mine. Happy days. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way.
We are back with Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9 and streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 422-796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now from Grand Bahama, Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Hope you are as well.
I am. Good to be here.
Wonderful. Always a pleasure talking with you. And got a lot going on. We're going to tell you in our 8 o'clock hour about the auto show this weekend at the Ball Marathon, the Bahamas Motor Dealers Association auto show. RBC will be here to tell us what they are offering at the auto show if you're in the market. And so we're looking forward to hearing from them. Later in business, we're talking with the Bahamas Development Bank. They're going to tell us about their Strategic Development and Initiatives Unit. So that's all ahead on this Thursday morning. But let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, just want to mention this. In the House of Assembly, yesterday they paid tribute to Philip Galanis, and we're all still in shock after his sudden passing. Parliamentarians yesterday remembered Philip Galanis as a nationalist and a mentor who was unafraid to have meaningful and honest conversations across political lines. The former member of Parliament and senator and a prominent accountant died on Friday, October 11th, just weeks after his 70th birthday. And lots of tributes paid to all the MPs. You definitely want to read about that in today's Nassau Guardian. All right, so more from the House. More on that deal with coal and engines and BPL. The Minister of Transport and Energy, JoBeth Kobe-Davis, clarifying some things. I don't know if there was any confusion. Yesterday, I know we talked about this quite a bit. I think it was pretty clear what was going on. They didn't mention rental, and it didn't sound like there was. But for those who were wondering if they were confused, BPL will have the opportunity to take full control over the generating capacity once it becomes more financially stable. So that part we might not have known. Take a listen to what JoBeth Kobe-Davis had to say in the House yesterday.
The engines are not being rented by BPL. Right. It is a power purchase agreement, which includes the engines are not being rented by BPL. Right. It is a power purchase agreement, which includes the cost of fuel and the capacity, not a rental, right? Has been divested out of the hands of BPL. In these agreements, there is opportunities for when BPL gets in a better and a stronger financial position for them to take over full ownership and control of that portion of generation, albeit whether they do it through that relationship or through them getting the necessary capacity that they need to generate on their own.
Okay. JoBeth Kobe-Davis speaking there. She's also saying, Laverne, that these engines are significantly more efficient than the older rental engines at the power plant at Clifton, which she noted will also be moved under the PPA, the power purchase agreement. Our Rachel Scott writing about this. People were asking yesterday about those engines and what was going on at Clifton, Wartsilla, all that stuff. And so now we know this. She said, quote, the engines are 35% more efficient than the older turbines that are currently being used. This will have tremendous cost fuel savings for our consumers and also reduce the cost of BPL. I'm not sure if the Wartsilla, the turbines, I have no idea. Maybe not. Whatever. The engines allow for dual fuel technology, which will enhance operational flexibility. However, by June 2025, the engines will run solely on LNG. Our strategy also calls for all existing BEC plants to be moved from the rental arrangement and placed under the PPA. So all that was presently under rental will also transfer under the structure of this PPA. One BC engine will eventually be converted to LNG. The Hyundai plant, however, is not capable of conversion and will remain on diesel or HFO. Once the combined cycle with the steam engine plant is complete, the Hyundai plant will be redundant capacity. Got that, Laverne? You paying attention?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I'm right here with you.
You should be taking notes. Right.
Okay.
Only if there's extreme extenuating circumstances that we need generating capacity, and we'll have to turn to the Hyundai plant. So the intent is for us to fully operate all of those engines under the PPA on LNG or in the combined cycle with steam producing generation. Now, and this is the headline in the NASA Guardian. This deal is going to protect customers. Colby Davis assuring that the PPA is structured to protect consumers. She said, quote, the PPA for this project includes clearly defined key performance indicators and penalties for non-performance. Provisions have also been included to lock down and lock in rates which protect Bahamian households and businesses from large cost fluctuations. The partnership with Bahamas Utilities Holdings will allow BPL to increase generation capacity with direct benefits for households and businesses in New Providence, such as improved reliability in electricity services. The PPA is part of the Davis administration's broader effort to reform BPL, which has been challenged for years with capacity issues. Colby Davis noted earlier this year that it would cost $1 billion to fix the utility company, and for that reason, the government has partnered with private companies to modernize the generation and transmission and distribution operations. So she went on, she said, in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead, we will continue to lay out more of our energy vision and plans as Minister of Responsibility for Energy. I understand the skepticism of those who are skeptical about whether we will deliver on such deep, ambitious, and far-reaching plans. I wish to point out some significant steps have already been taken. These steps include the passage of the Electricity and Natural Gas Acts, the implementation of the Equity Rate Adjustment Initiative at BPL, which zero-rated the base rate for the first 200 kilowatts of electricity for all residential consumers, the expansion of renewable energy projects in schools, and the selection of independent power producers to build utility-scale renewable energy in the Family Islands, which will include solar panels. The commission of the engines is and we are happy for the direction we are going to bring more affordable, reliable, and resilient energy infrastructure to the Bahamas. Okay. Hey, that last part with that list of what they've done, I mean, it sounds good. When will we be convinced? What, when the power stays on for more than 3 months without going off?
Yeah.
That would be good. And when the bills stabilize.
Exactly.
And when we don't think they're doing estimates any longer. Let's hear from you, though. Let's hear from you. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's hear what this caller has to say. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan, and good morning to Ms. Gardner. Mr. Strachan, the only thing I really want to understand, I mean, I have a lot of things I want to say, but the only thing I want to understand is, do you remember when they purchased those generators some time back and they took so long to ride them from where they got them from, Whale Clifton?
How could we forget?
Yeah, and I was wondering, I mean, because I thought that we had purchased them, I thought they were our generators, but I could remember when they had done that, because it was such a big move for all the decades that we have been experiencing this power thing. I said, wow, what is the government up to? You know what I mean? And I said to myself that they are only preparing the place to do exactly what they did. But what I want to know is, did we purchase those? Are those generators, like, when we, did we own them before this thing happened? Because we can't just be giving them things to people. She said that the corporation is not divested any of its assets. So we need to understand clearly. But I just want to know, did we purchase those generators outright? And can we get that information to find out exactly what happened with those generators? Because I can remember people even saying that we were renting them. And that's basically all I want to know, Mr. Strong. I hope you and Mr. Gardner have a nice day.
I'm trying to refresh my memory on it now and look back. Purchased. So I'm looking at a story from, this is from earlier this year. Prime Minister Philip Davis said on Wednesday that it will cost a whopping $30 to $60 million to convert the 7 Wärtsilä engines BPL purchased back in 2019 to tri-fuel engines. So we purchased them.
Yes.
Yeah. And as the current minister says, they're going to put these all under this new PPA.
PPA.
Mm-hmm. All right.
There is an opportunity for BPL to, what did she say?
Take full
management
of this.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Providing
once they become more financially stable.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And providing they can generate sufficient power.
Right.
This is one of 2 ways.
Mm-hmm. 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 We should take bets on when we think that could happen. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How you doing? And morning, Miss Gardner.
Good morning. Doing well.
Morning.
Yeah, Dwight. I like to consider myself a Renaissance man, and I think last year and year before, I know this was a topic you was on. This morning, this is a topic you was on for last year and a couple of years now. I think sometimes I hear you talk about it. Can you pull your hair out? You was like, what are they doing, right?
You're talking about BPL.
Right.
Yeah. Well, from before the show started. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. I used to hear you know what I mean? Flip a switch. But what I would like to say is that I think a lot of these problems, right, they don't have the solutions of, hey, we could fix it this year. So as a Renaissance man, this is what I propose. If we was to start educating ourselves, this generation, our primary schools, right now about energy reserves and energy, and then one day, because I think the reform is a 20-year process at least, we could have a young scholar who was an engineer could come and say, hey, this is how you really save it, and we're not going to get those ones, we're going to get this one, right? Because with the IMF and structural readjustment and deregulation of government, it's like almost like we playing this game where we owing these things and making these commitments, and every year we coming back to the same thing. And I believe that the only true solution is if we say, right now, let's start educating, getting some of our brightest minds to be engineers so they could do the research, they could have the awareness. Because, Dwight, I think there's just a lack of awareness. I'm even you, Ms. Gardner, anything which you all say right now, we still don't have our finger on it because we truly don't know how this works. And I believe the minister don't know how it works. And so we have people giving us these things and then we ain't seeing the results. So I think we need to have a real social renaissance in our country and to really create a 5 to 10 year plan with energy to say, hey, this is what we're going to do, and this could be the blueprint for the future.
Let me ask you something. So you really believe there are not engineers at BPL and in the country who know exactly what needs to be done and are giving their advice? You really believe that?
No, see, what I believe is that we do have these engineers, right? But see, what I want is those same engineers what we have. I want, like most governments around the world, I want to give them the capacity to take the sabbaticals, to do the research, to go around the world, look at new energy resources, look at how to create them, build them from raw materials, and bring them back with a loyalty to their country to actually go out there, build and purchase. I believe a lot of those brothers and you could verify and attest to this, right? Once you get inside the system, however that system runs, right? That is what people are going to follow. And a lot of these ministers, they get in these seats, they meet this circus going on, and they can't do the research. They can't go there and say, okay, let's switch this into place immediately. And I ain't taking them off the hook. I just believe that they there to patch. But I think we need to say, get a group of Bahamians together, get some of our brightest young minds, I think starting from the primary school system, and groom them to be able to solve our energy crisis, because who knows where these generators or these people come from with these engines. I don't know them.
Okay.
I don't.
I hear
the
you.
minister who bring them in know them. So I think it's a fallback where we really have to look at it from that perspective.
I hear you.
And respectfully, Mike, you see what I'm saying? Because I believe we have the talent.
All right.
I just don't believe we have a situation where this talent is really being refined for this express purpose would be going through. Because, Dwight, I don't want to hear you here mad next year with the people talking some other things with the generator, because you say you only saved $30.
Well, this month, yes. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I want you to listen to carefully what I'm going to say now, though. But thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Those people are here. We have them, and they have given their advice. But if they aren't representing certain people, their advice is not going to be listened to. You know that's how this works in this entire country. There are people here who have the solutions for almost every problem we have. But depending on who they are, what colors they like, or how they look, ain't nobody listening to them. Now, if you happen to align yourself with the people who are in the right camp, they will listen to you. Maybe.
We are very much a society what do they say? We will kill. It depends.
It depends.
We receive the message based on who it's coming from.
We've got those people that you're talking about, caller, working in other parts of the world. They know exactly what needs to be done. But because they don't align themselves with certain people, nothing's going to happen.
Their voice is not being heard.
No.
It's not,
And they've said what needs to be done.
We would be surprised to know if we go back and do the research who has been, I'm not saying any particular CEO or COO, but we don't know who has expressed before that these are the things that we need to do in order to make sure that as this country grows, as this island grows, we are in a position to generate sufficient power.
Yeah.
This is not efficient. We would be surprised to know.
We know, we were not surprised. We know LNG was being talked about by certain people many years ago, and it was rejected. So we are decades later coming back to it. Yo, brand new LNG is just hitting the market, huh? I bet LNG is about to be phased out.
Now.
It's probably on its final leg. But,
and so, it's very true. We've had, I'm sure, so many people have, put in their expressed what needs to be done. But again, we listen based on who it's coming from.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're probably all
act based on who it's coming from.
They've probably got many of the people at BPL telling them what to do, or saying this is what we really need, and this is what we need to throw away. And no one's listening to them. No one's listening to them.
I'm sure they have very qualified engineers there who've been making recommendations, and it's fallen on deaf ear.
Yeah. And there are plenty who don't work there who have been saying it, but no one's listening to them because people think they have an agenda, or they think they're with the other team, or whatever it is, whatever foolishness. Let's take some more calls, and we got a whole lot of text messages to get to. Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Hi, good morning. Okay, let's take that line. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne, Seattle, and Johnson.
Hi, good morning.
Dwight, just let me first, I see the minister bragging about the first $200. The first 200
megawatt hours.
Kilowatts, that's
whatever
great.
it is. Yeah,
well, what happens is now that the light bill has went up rather than down for most people, they are now paying an additional 10% on their light bill. An example is somebody had a light bill for $295, it's now $301. They're now paying additional $30.05 for the VAT. So if the government really wants to do something, change the wording from amount under $300 to the first $300 for residences. So
What?
those individuals will not be penalized for broken promises by the government. But Dwight, if you look where she says that it costs $1 billion for building the new grid, I want to know where that $1 billion amount came from. I've said for almost a decade that it will cost $2 billion or more to build a smart grid in the Bahamas, and that amount must have rose estimate that was done almost a decade ago. And so, because again, this is an example, Dwight. You remember the offering that they had for the $120 million or the $100 million? They spent $80 million running from the one Bay Street, which is the hotel, to the plant on Blue Hill, and it cost them $80 million for that 5 miles. And I want you to then do the corridors we have on New Providence, and then do the cross sections across the neighborhoods, whatever, and then do the calculations per mile, and you'll see the amount, and that isn't counting the substations and things to go in the pole and all these other different things. So it is. The question the reason I brought it up, Dwight, then you have this almost $1 billion in legacy debt. Now that the profits, unless BPL, these people who are doing the generation has an expectation of profit. Is BPL now expecting to make a profit? Because if BPL is no longer making the profit, how do they finance those legacy debt or outstanding loans, et cetera, et cetera? And then you have the continuation that we need. We're going to be, each time we say we give $1 billion worth out to so-called fix the grid or power generation, it displaces the profit that would normally just go to a sovereign fund if the BPL standalone, as they say, SEO, to basically do these different things. So we're now dividing it up. So
All
how
right.
do we then now
Well,
be going to reduce costs?
I hear you. Thank you very much. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm very selfish. I really don't care about any of that stuff. I just want reliable electricity and my bill to be something I can afford to pay. But I want it to be. I want it to be working.
people,
I
Dwight.
agree, C. Allen. Huh? Say it again, Laverne.
No, as for most people,
Right. You
they're
know,
not overly concerned with the technical
all
side
that
of
stuff.
it. They just
Nah.
want to know that their power, that they have power.
I don't care if
When
they
come
make.
home and they turn on the light, they
Yeah.
have consistent power all through the night, all through the day, and they want to know that when they get their bill, email by text, do they still mail out bills? I don't know. Whatever. When they see it, they see the benefit of all of this technical stuff and everything that you say is going to happen because of what you're doing now. They just want to see that in dollars and cents. My bill used to be $500 and now it's $400.
Well, that's not low enough. But I hear you. At least it
Well,
went down. At least it went down. And
that's not low enough, but you
no.
on the radio bragging about your $30. Okay, Dwight.
Well, it certainly is not $400. Good Lord. But okay. But yeah, I want to see it. The Prime Minister said that as of last month, that would have, after they corrected the error, right? A couple of you messaged yesterday, dollars going down. But let's hear from you. But see, Alan, I hear you, and I wish it were working in the background like that, because then they'd be able to fix things in a more efficient manner, I guess. So I wanted to. I mean, it gives me a headache to hear you say those things, but I just want it to work. Let's see if we can get a couple more calls in, and then we'll go to your messages. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Turn on your radio for us,
How are you
please.
doing, Dwight?
Doing well.
Dwight, I want to
Morning.
thank you for the job you've been doing the past few mornings, helping us dissect this BPL issue a little bit. And you're doing a much better job than the government in terms of if only having the conversation versus having the ribbon cuttings without information. The frustrating part about this deal right now, as you listen to C. Allen Johnson just now, talk about what it costs us, and anybody can do this, but I would encourage you all in the media to start this part of it. Yes, we're tired of hearing about all the technical aspects of what happens with electricity. We just want efficient, and we just want to keep the power on, but at what cost? And to who? When we're paying the cost every time that power goes up, and we still end up right where we are. And the reason I'm bringing this up to you, Dwight, is 25 to 30 years from now, I don't want us as a people saying we didn't get what we agreed for in this deal. If you already said that, okay, it's worth $1 billion, and based on this $1 billion, like C. Allen said, and it's just common sense. If 5 miles of power generation or transmission or what's not cost $80 million, I don't see how the whole island only costs $1 billion. And the whole idea of where you can have a deal, like, and the ripper, the deal was going to be finished this week, but check me back in 3 weeks from now, then it'll be finished. Like,
And while the people are working.
Madness.
And while the people are working.
This is absolute madness, and we have no information to have a sensible discussion on. I don't think, I'm not blaming the media, but I wish the media would be able to help us make a real case to the government or to the PLP. Because for me as a young person, what this feels like or what this reminds me of is the Blue Water Ocean deal with BTC. No money exchanged yet, but BTC ready to be handed over to whoever the new owners were going to be. This is where I personally believe we are with BPL, Pike, Frankie Wilson, Folkhorn, and the friends of the PLP. This is another robbery of one of our utilities.
Yikes.
Enjoy your day, Pike.
Wow, okay. That's intense. Yeah, again, the bike trucks all over the place. What are they doing? But the deal's not finalized. Right, they're working on it. So what?
Well, I guess it's maybe they finalized that part.
But tell us that part. They don't want to give it to us in piecemeal fashion, but I think we need to know what that's about. They're working.
In piecemeal fashion, there's a better opportunity.
Because if they shove that down, we're not going to recover.
Right.
Be out for
if you
weeks.
break it up into smaller pieces, I'm better able to digest it and understand what's happening, and perhaps be able to ask further questions.
Right. You recover from.
You give it to me.
If there's food poisoning, you could recover.
One lump sum,
right.
I may become overwhelmed and then just be like, okay.
A little bit of poison, you get over it. But you give us the whole thing, might be in a coma for years. I don't know. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi.
Good morning.
Dwight, if I can engage Laverne for 1 minute. Laverne, I had the pleasure of spending last weekend in Freeport. And
you did?
3 a.m. in the morning, Sunday morning, the lights went off at 8 Mile Rock. So 8 o'clock, I was in the kitchen fixing boiled fish, and of course the light was still off. So I said, look, I thought it's going to be a whole shift.
You did that. You brought that from Nassau there.
The light came on. Now, good thing the weather was quite fair and cool in Freeport, because that's from that's 8 hours. The entire 8 Mile Rock. It's a far cry from when I lived there from 79 to 82. I remember the electricity went off once only because I was living on the 10th floor of Casa Bahama, and I had to walk the whole flight of stairs. I can always remember that, So you can imagine that. So I get a chance to
let me apologize for that.
Power failure.
Well, no, Laverne. Clearly, that's Nassau people bringing bad luck to Grand Bahama.
Let me apologize to that. Let me apologize to you. That is not who we were.
I know.
This isn't who we were.
I know,
before, like you said, we would have consistent power. There would be no worries. But unfortunately, we're in a place right now where the power does shut off more frequently than in the past. I'm sorry you had to come here to that.
No,
but I hope you were able to finish your food.
Only went off once. And because I had to walk 10 flights of stairs, then I could also remember that.
You remember that, right?
Yes. But also, Lauren, I also learned that the Junkanoo, your Junkanoo's are doing so well over there, right? Because I went to an event which was the 70th birthday for one Marquis wife, and the Junkanoos were paid, but they prefer to rush free or to rush out to 8 Mile Rock. God help, the rain came down that they couldn't rush. So they prefer to rush free than being paid for the event. So they're doing very well. So obviously not many persons
don't put that out there. Don't put that out there like that. Don't put that out there like that they would prefer to rush on a free than to get paid. They're going on. Oh man, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put that narrative out there.
Okay, Lorraine. I take that back.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what just happened. I feel so left out.
Good.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, yeah, okay. One more call and we got to take a break. Good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay. All right. So I think, Mr. Bruce, let's go with some junkie music. I'll get some text messages before we go to the break. This person says here, weren't the engines purchased under the FNM capable of using dual fuel? Boy. Anyway, I don't know. Doesn't sound like it. We can then expect.
There was talk, Dwight. Do you remember when they were saying that? But then, that they were supposed to be able to do dual fuel, but then
suddenly it's an expensive conversion.
All came about. That conversation all came about when they were talking about the engines and how the housing of the engine was crumbling. You remember that whole thing?
We're trying to convert them, or they convert to trial. Maybe that's tri-fuel, not dual. I don't know. Anyway, okay. It's boy. Anyway,
much to keep up with?
It's really ridiculous. And they say, but now we're going to need to make sure it's a quad fuel engine, and that'll be millions. We can then expect, as a text, we can at least a 35% decrease in our electricity bills. Mine has already decreased by $21, only decreased by $21, and that's not really a decrease because electricity was off for at least 9 total hours during the last billing cycle. Only 9, okay. Why is no one talking about yet another instance of our Prime Minister saying something, lower bills by August, September, that clearly hasn't happened? Well, I mean, your bill did go down, so... He said it, and it did go down. What were you thinking?
Yeah, but I don't think people were anticipating that it would go down because there would be
$30.
But no, I don't think people anticipated that it would go down because they were sitting there for days where they didn't have power.
Well, I told you. Well, I don't know if you heard it yesterday. I said that my bill did go down, but it is claiming, which it never does, usage was up compared to the same month last year, which is.
Okay.
Very surprising. Now, is that graph accurate?
But
that's what it's telling me.
Your bill is telling you that you used more
electricity
power this year.
But my bill went
more
down.
electricity, but your bill went down to $30.
Well, it went down from last month. Now, I got to go back to see last year. It probably was last year was when we were struggling with the fuel charge thing, so it probably was higher. But hey, it went down. And I suspect they expect us to be happy about that. Which I am. I am happy. But I'm sure it could go down a whole lot more. I mean, I was looking for $100 lower, but it was $30. And I'm not being ungrateful, but $100 would really have been nice. But who knows? Maybe next month it'll go down $20 more. And then it'll be the winter, and then it'll be $100 lower. And then, maybe if we're really lucky, it'll stay there.
Factor, you know what? You just made a good point. We have to factor all of these things in when we look at our bills and we see the debt reduction. We're going into cooler months.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we turned off our ACs and opened up our, So we have to look at all of that. Even if we have the AC on, it doesn't take as long to cool the entire house because it's cool outside. So when we are reading these bills and looking at these bills and we're saying our bills went down, like for me over here, I expect that my bill is going to go down by next month.
Mm.
And it's not because of anything other than probably going to shut off my AC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Okay, so we have to factor all of that in.
Oh, we certainly are. Have they done that? That's the question. All right, let's go to the break. We'll pick this up on the other side. I've got a whole lot of text messages, a lot of people asking some great questions. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for a look at traffic, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. The Ministry of Works reminding folks that they had their pothole patching teams out. They are trying to aggressively address potholes, and so you're asked to report potholes for repairs. Take a photo and drop the location to 760936. Take a photo, drop the location, 3760936 for pothole patching. In real-time traffic this morning, we are seeing slow-moving traffic and delays along Prince Charles Drive. That intersection with Beatrice Avenue, the traffic signal has not been working for days now. And if you are there, remember, flashing red means you need to stop. Flashing amber means proceed with caution. But that's causing some issues along Prince Charles Drive all the way straight through to Robinson Road and up to Marathon and East-West Highway. North of the Robinson-Soldier-Prince Charles intersection, you're going to be seeing slow-moving traffic on Soldier if you're heading northbound towards Bernard, Wolf, and Village Road. Eastern Road also busy for you just east of Foxhill, straight up to Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. Got some slow-moving traffic along Wolf Road near Mackey Street. And Blue Hill Road is very busy for you near St. Vincent Road and especially near Carmichael all the way up to Independence Drive. And we're seeing some slow-moving traffic along Independence Drive and west of that roundabout along Tawny Williams-Darling Highway. Very slow-moving traffic westbound there this morning. Might even be an issue there as you try to get closer to Bahamas Games Boulevard. And then we've got Milo Ballard Highway. Heavy traffic from Bellot Road straight through the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tawny Williams-Darling Highway as usual. Gloucester Road also busy for you just north of Fire Trail straight through to JFK Drive, Bahamar Boulevard. That's your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. And time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Here's what's happening. We've got a surface trough in the southeast Bahamas, along with a frontal boundary drifting across the northwest Bahamas. That's creating unsettled weather, strong gusty winds, and hazardous beach conditions, rough seas, and that will continue into the weekend. So boaters are advised to remain in port due to hazardous marine conditions associated with the passage of this front that's moving through, a cold front. Strong to near gale force winds expected to begin across the northern and northwest Bahamas today, the central Bahamas on Friday, and the southeast Bahamas by Friday afternoon. Flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas during heavy and prolonged rainfall is possible, and everyone's being advised to exercise caution along northern and eastern coastal roadways and seawalls, as sea swells are expected to affect these areas by tonight. Beachgoers in the northern and northwest Bahamas should stay out of the water due to the hazardous rip currents and rough seas. Again, strong to near gale force winds and rough seas expected, with breaking waves of 10 to 12 feet in the northern and northwest and central Bahamas today, building to 11 to 13 feet in the northern and northwest islands and along north and northeasterly shores. So for today, across the country, partly cloudy to cloudy, highs in the mid-80s, lows in the mid-70s. And in your extended outlook, for Friday, partly sunny, very windy with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms in the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy and windy with scattered showers and embedded thunderstorms in the central and southeastern islands. For Saturday, partly cloudy to cloudy and very windy again with scattered showers and thunderstorms. And Sunday, partly cloudy and windy with isolated showers and the chance of thunderstorms in the northwest and northern Bahamas. Partly cloudy to cloudy, windy with widely scattered showers and thunderstorms in the central and southeastern islands. Look at the tropics coming up in your next weather check in our 8 o'clock hour. This weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales, inviting you to visit the Bahamas Motor Dealers Car Association, the car show at the Mall Marathon this Friday and Saturday. See the new all-electric 2025 models and make a deal on the last of the 2024s while they last. Get discounts, rebates, and more this weekend at the Mall Marathon.
maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Hey, this is KB, and I will be performing live.
Break and scrape explosion. Reloaded.
This is the one and only Fan John letting y'all know that yours truly will be performing.
Oh yeah, this your boy D-Mac, and I'll be performing live. Keep the vibe alive. Music Grill and Alpha Sounds Promotion invites you to the biggest rake and scrape concert of the year.
And you thought they was gonna leave me out?
Saturday, November 2nd at Super Club Breezes Ground.
It's me, Mama D.
This is Wilfred Solomon.
Yo, it's your boy Ron.
It's your boy Elliot from the New Breed Band.
The biggest artist up at 242.
It's your boy Shine 242.
Hey, it's Sherrod Taylor.
It's your boy Johnny K. Falcon Show guy. It's your boy DJ Rev.
It's me now, Funky D. This is your girl Nishi Out Ass, aka Miss Loose Me.
Hey there, this is Freak on Beat.
Hey, this is Cheeto D, and I will be performing live.
Hey, it's me, Julian Belize.
Tickets available at the Beauty Shack and BahamasEtickets.com. The countdown is on. Rake and scrape explosion. Best of the best.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Throw them stones if you had a wild hell you wanted to. Living in your big glass house with the view. I thought you knew I had some help. It ain't like I can make this kind of mess all by myself. Don't act like you ain't helped me pull that bottle off the shelf every weekend. If you couldn't tell, they say teamwork makes a dream work. Hell, I had some help.
We're back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning. Coming up, we're going to be talking with RBC about the BMDA Auto Show, which is Friday and Saturday, the Mall Marathon. RBC's got some special deals if you're in the market for a new car. So they'll tell us all about that. And then later in business, we're talking with Bahamas Development Bank about their SDG Concessional Loan Fund. And we'll learn more about that. We told you about that a few weeks back, and that was extended a little bit, so we'll get some details on where things stand at this point. But we continue to talk about what's in the news, Laverne, and before the break, talking about BPL, the Minister of Energy and Transport, Jo Beth Colby Davis, explaining, giving some more information on the power purchase agreement with Bahamas Utilities Holdings, a subsidiary of Focol. And so explain that it's not a rental. This is a real agreement, and when BPL can, if it's in a better financial position, it'll be able to buy back all of this, fully purchase this stuff. And when that would be, that's a good question. We don't know. All right, so here are your text messages. This person says here, did you say that full control will be returned when the corporation is more stable? When was the last time anyone could associate those words with BPL? Are there terms in the agreement that clearly define what stable means? At the risk of sounding like a conspiracy theorist, our power company operates like the cell phone and appliance manufacturers. The money is not in generators. Since 1955, it's been in the fuel that powers generation. Why would the people that pocket in excess of $130 million annually want to see their profits adversely impacted? Well, it's a subsidiary of the company, so, they're diversified, I guess. Maybe, yeah. All right. Some other text messages here. This person says, it sounds like the swing train is gassed up and ready to leave the station. What do they mean BPL will acquire the new generators when they're financially able to? At what cost? This is where a Freedom of Information Act would be useful. A friend of mine hired a contractor and didn't discuss terms. Once finished, the contractor gave him a huge bill. He was very upset. I said, never let anyone start working until the terms are clear. I think children know that too. Anyway, so why is the government letting Pike work without a deal being finalized? Well, it doesn't mean that is necessarily what Pike understands it to be. Obviously, Pike's not going to be working without some deal.
Of course, some agreement in place.
I mean, come on now.
Pike isn't working to say, y'all work, and this is a test, and we'll see how it goes.
Right. Pike isn't a government.
I'm sure Pike.
They would not do things. They're not a government. They wouldn't do things like that. They're a business. You don't do things like that unless you're a government. Boy, anyway.
So,
yeah.
They have some agreement in place. And that's why Pike is working.
My goodness. This person says here, I don't think it's what's this now? Wait. Oh, okay. This is the text. Why is she, I think they're talking about the minister, talking like she's speaking to 2-year-olds? This is November 2024. She promised to answer all questions from June 2024, 5 months ago. Is that, but it's still October, though. But anyway. Months after she promised lower bills, pre-skyrocketing shock treatment bills. She shouldn't speak. She shouldn't be speaking to anybody like they're stupid. She should be begging for forgiveness for being so late again. And again, for these grid as of the photo date, the engines had to be connected prior to this past weekend in order to be tested. That means the engines were online during the power outage over the weekend. Does it mean that? Yeah, okay. It also is lost on nobody that they waited until it was relatively load-shedding safe, cooler weather to make this announcement. And now that is interesting, isn't it? Another thing, I don't think it's a coincidence that this deal was signed as the former CEO was removed as the executive responsible for the signing. I agree with the caller. We don't know what they're doing. All we know is that they're making millions of dollars and we get another promise. Okay.
Devil is always in the details, Dwight.
This is in response to that caller we got earlier. Dwight, you are correct. The intellectual capacity is right here in the Bahamas and Bahamians abroad. The problem is not intelligence. Or, not that, not learning, not anything to do with that at all. They've got the knowledge base. They've been to school. They've been teaching the classes. Dwight. They are the college professors. And they know it. But is anyone listening?
Yeah, it's a system. That's what we are fighting against. Yeah. We're fighting against a system that is not working, has not worked, but perhaps it benefits certain people who are there, and so it remains the same.
Well, yeah, they were talking LNG long time, but who hit it down? These so-called who hit it down? These so-called environmentalists. They were saying it would blow up the Bahamas. Let's be fair. Okay, another one. LNG was being talked about 20 years ago, and we're gonna be a hub for it, but at a much better deal. Now we have to sacrifice a body part. Okay, I'm gonna leave some parts of that out there. This person says here. C. Allen has a point. Being selfish does not pay the legacy debt. I guess that's a comment to me, because I'm saying, okay. Sure, I mean, that got to do with me. But I hear you. Legacy debt.
Right?
BPL's legacy debt. How much of that do you think you own, Laverne? Okay.
Right?
Anyway.
All of us.
All of us. I've paid them.
We may not share in the profits.
I've paid them every dollar they've ever said I owe them. Every dollar except for the bill I have right now, which will hopefully be sorted out shortly. So me and your legacy debt, BPL, BEC, sure. The primary feeder pole to EMR, is that EMR Rock? Was knocked down during the feeder winds from the hurricane that went to Florida, and they had to wait to repair it. Don't remember if it was a vehicle that did it during the storm. Yeah, you all did get some interesting weather over the weekend.
Yes, and there were parts of Bahama, as I said last week, that were out of power for for a very long time.
When the bill goes up to $200 and down $30, that's not a bill going down. Ooh. Compare the cost of kilowatt hours month to month, not year to year. That was it for the last 4 months. Yeah. This person says, I was always curious if BPL was able to fix the structural issues where they said they couldn't run all the generators at once because the structure might collapse. I'm the only one who remembers this? No, you're not, and I'm sure they haven't. But okay. And, yeah, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Good morning, Laverne. Morning. Listen, y'all disturbed me out my morning coffee, my morning blend, talking the same thing over and over again, Dwight.
Oh, yeah?
Dwight, you all surprised?
Which part?
BPL.
I mean, what are you saying? Because, we're heading in the right direction, though, aren't we? Aren't we happy and glad that this is additional megawatts and kilo whoever's are coming?
Dwight, something wrong with Bahamian people, Y'all need to go by your favorite pharmacy and buy the Chinese ginseng root, $5 and something, because y'all don't remember nothing. Don't remember nothing.
Refresh our memories.
Frankie Wilson had 2 generators down. His son Oil had 2 generators down there a long time. When Brave was generating power. When the Prime Minister was rowing, saying those 7 Watt-Zeller generators wasn't no good. And they have additional generation. And those generators was always there. They just made them official. Your Bahamians don't remember nothing. Now, the thing about it is, now we don't, only one thing we own now, and which is a burden to the Bahamians. We own nothing else, right? All the doctrine gone, the BBL gone, the water gone, the this gone, the that gone. Bahamian people ain't own nothing.
I think we still have the Broadcasting Corporation.
Jesus. Jesus, right. You just mess up my coffee, knock my coffee on the ground.
What's wrong with you?
But Dwight, Laverne, it's very interesting, Nobody has never, ever really investigated as to who really are the shareholders in Freeport Power and Light, That's something interesting, right, for you all to check out, Who the major shareholders in Freeport Power and Light?
GBPC.
Freeport Power and Light?
GBPC. Okay.
Yes.
You mean in Emera, the parent company?
Pardon me?
You mean who are the shareholders? Do you mean who are the
yes,
shareholders?
Who controlling that? Because folk call and all them things down in Freeport.
Okay. All right, we gotta go. You gotta try to get us into Facebook. Oh boy. Okay. Oh man. Wow. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
How you doing?
Doing well.
All right, Poppy, and good morning, Laverne. My name is
Good morning.
Morning.
No, Laverne, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Dwight, this BPL thing, right? I still feel the way I feel. I think that was yesterday when we started to talk about it. But you say give them the benefit of the doubt. Sound like, Dwight, is it possible I could ask you a question about what the Deputy Prime Minister said yesterday with this? I don't know if it's a tax or income tax for companies with making over $800 and something million. I was wondering if that, include the banks. If that include the banks, because I hear them over the years talk about the profits they make and stuff like that. And I don't know if they being taxed already or if generally speaking, if that include the banks or just foreign companies. Then they say, I don't know if you call it the profit or the money they make from it, and how they going to try to empower Bahamians and deal with certain things. Then by paraphrasing what they had to say, but I was wondering if they meaning that going in the consolidated fund like usual.
Yeah, we're going to play a clip from that in business coming up in a little bit, but this is what he said. This is in the Guardian business section today. There's a corporate income tax. So Deputy Prime Minister Cooper said that very few Bahamian-owned and operated businesses would be impacted In addition, with the passage of this bill, the Bahamas would be allowed to retain tax revenues on the profits of these entities that would
So
otherwise...
that's the banks, you think? The Bahamian banks and the foreign banks, own banks?
Tell me
something, Dwight. What kind of Bahamian company, like what you said just now, which you was reading from, does make that kind of money? You say not all or not a lot. Sound like you said.
Very few. That's what.
Very
Cooper
few,
said.
yeah.
Very
So
few.
what type? That's the web shop. What type?
Well,
because I try to figure out what company.
Who all would be impacted?
Yes.
I don't want to speculate, but I'm sure there are a few. There are a few.
I think it'll be fair if they make sure, see if they can get a little bit more from the banks, because you listen to these companies and hotels and this, not bragging, but I think the law must allow them or tell them to say what they make. They'd be making some serious profit every year in spite of whatsoever the people going through. I guess that's business. You know,
some of them have shareholders though. I mean, and so that
they got to make their money.
Bahamian shareholders.
Yeah.
So okay.
Right. You know, we finish ever paying for who this what the man the bridge, the name of the bridge,
Sitting
the
Point
new
here?
bridge. We ever finish paying for that? That money what we making when the people, the tourists and the locals go to work and travel over there for the what you call it, the toll. What we used to do, that's go consolidated fund too, or we have that directed a certain place, either the. But I hear them say some of these other bridges, like the bridge in Eleuthero, what you call it, the water something bridge, and then the rest of the bridge to help bridge the Bahamas and what you call it?
Well, yeah, that's
help
why
build up
they-
the infrastructure would deteriorate.
Right.
What we used to do with that money from the bridge? You know,
No,
you have any idea? Thanks for your
Okay,
time.
that's
Hang
a
up
lot.
and-
There's a lot there, Barbara. Wow. But yeah, we just passed some new
People have
legislation.
questions.
Ooh.
People have questions.
I love
so
the
I did
curiosity.
wanna
It's
answer.
beautiful.
Yes,
we need
I
to have some
love
folks
that.
on to talk about the new legislation for the bridges. So that's for the maintenance and for the upkeep, and that's a lot of work to keep the bridges up. And as you see, we've fallen down on some of those in other parts of the country. All right, let's take one final call, and we want to read the last of these messages before we take a break. Good morning, caller on there.
Well, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Man, them questions was coming fast.
Oh,
and
my
serious
goodness
from
gracious.
Popper.
It feels like the House of Assembly on question and answer day.
You know, on this issue of energy security, you know, I've been talking about this for almost 25 years now. In 2014, John Bostwick and myself were panelists at the Hilton, and in front of over 200 people, he suggested that we float in a power barge, liquid natural gas, so it's cleaner than diesel, so you won't pay as much of a carbon fine for burning other dirty fuels. At that time, he said you could cut your electricity bill in half for every business and every home. So think about what you pay, Dwight, in half. And it came with the generator, the technicians, the fuel, etc. We didn't do that. Now we see some other things happening. And I don't want to, you coined a new term. What was it? Facebook troubles?
Right.
Yeah. So due to Facebook troubles, you don't hear from me as much anymore.
Oh,
I
boy.
suggested that we do solar in addition to John Bostwick's. We were both panelists by the Chamber of Commerce. And we could have lowered our light bill to more than half by another 1/3 of your use, because the sun's out 1/3 of the day. I'm serious about it. And you had one super intellectual caller, and I'll leave you with this. He said we've been divested of all of our utilities except the ones that are costing us tremendously. And there's a reason nobody wants those two. I won't call the names. So I want you to enjoy what's about to come, because we didn't want to fix the Bahamas, Dwight, and that's sad. But there are a few people out there that do, and they're fading away. You have a good one.
Okay. Thank you very much, Graham. I appreciate it. All right. Let's read these messages here. This person says here, many still find it offensive when I say, this is the same person from yesterday. Oh, my goodness gracious. Find it offensive when I say the Bahamas has become a third world country. They prefer that we call it a developing country. This is the same text. Very, both pretty much carry the understanding that it's a country where its resources are being exploited by external forces. I think you said this yesterday, Texter. Okay, we hear you.
Well, I guess maybe it bears repeating, Dwight.
Well, okay, call in and say it. I get tired reading.
Why? You read it.
I read it yesterday, exactly. I texted a few.
And you read it today.
Started and ended. I texted a few weeks ago about cars breaking down on Blue Hill Road South on top of the hill. There are 2 vehicles broken down in either lane now. Okay, boy, it's rough. Under the major parties, we've dismantled these paid pages. Until the major parties dismantle these paid pages. Is that on Facebook? Cronies and goons are attacking people. Save us the tears, because this has been the culture of political parties. Okay. You understand what's going on there? Telling us it's a power purchase agreement versus rental literally means nothing without some detailed analysis of why the associated costs made the power purchase more agreeable. Yeah, that's a very interesting point. Although they don't have any money to rent a car, it seems. I don't know. Dwight, even though these new BPL workers can, not a nice thing. Who BPL workers? Do you all realize that if we own nothing, this isn't our country? Foreigners and illegals own everything now. That's a text. Okay. The ownership of Emira.
How are the illegals? If I'm just following this thought, foreigners and illegals own everything. So how are these quote unquote illegals able to buy and purchase, and they don't have any status in the country?
What? What do you mean by that?
I'm just asking. The text just said foreigners and illegals.
Okay.
So how is this happening?
If they have money, they can have whatever they want. That's how it works in the Bahamas. This text says here, the ownership of Emira Bahamas and other companies in the Bahamas don't have to be disclosed if the company has less than 50 investors. So, Dwight, we can have 20 companies, own the companies, and hide groups of people by having them own a company that owns the power company. Change the law so 49 of us can own shares in each of, say, 49 companies, and Emira would not need to disclose less than 50 shareholders. So those companies who hold the shares need no disclosure, and neither the company those companies hold. Oh, boy. That's a lot of words, and clearly, if that is the case, some wacky stuff. Wow. You got that? I think we should take a break. When we come back, we're going to change gears. If you are in the market for a new car, you're definitely going to want to listen to this segment coming up. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Already lost the game that you've been running. Guess it's catching up to you. You think that you're so innocent after all that you did. I ain't an angel, you ain't even sent. Can't wash our hands of this. I had some help. It ain't like I can make this kind of mess.
Are you a Bahamian with property on one island destinations? Well, the Tourism Development Corporation, in partnership with Bahamas Development Bank, is officially launching our Home Sweet Home Incentive. Join the vacation market by transforming your properties into vacation rentals. Earn up to $10,000 or more in funding and start building today. Register at tdcbahamas.com. from October 7th to November 18th. What are you waiting on? Build your vacation home today.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Bahamas, you all ready? The biggest and best festival is back. It's the International Cultural Wine and Food Festival, October 19th and 20th, right at the historic Fort Charlotte. From 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday and 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday, we're bringing you food, drinks, and culture from all over the world. That's right, 20 countries, no passport needed. You hungry yet? And guess what? You can use your Sand Dollar digital currency or pay cash at the gate. We more than like that. And for just $10 in advance, $15 at the gate, you can eat world. And if you're bringing the kids, they get it for just $3 in advance. And Saturday night, don't miss the vibes, because from 7 to 10 p.m., the one and only Visage Band is hitting the stage to keep the energy high. Plus, we get plenty parking, so no need to worry about that. Get your advance tickets today. Check out our website and Facebook for pre-sale info. Fort Charlotte, October 19th and 20th. Be there or miss out on the best time of the year. It's the International Cultural Wine and Food Festival.
Don't forget about the spooky haunted house.
Are you looking to save for a big purchase or occasion? Do you want your money to start making money for you? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Bond, the Bahamas Government Savings Bond. I am guaranteed to earn interest on your money with terms ranging from 1 to 6 years. Government savings bonds are available to all Bahamians, and for as little as $100, you can start to save for your future. The Bahamas Government Saving Bond, a safe investment guaranteed. Check out the Central Bank of the Bahamas website for details.
This October, Dunkin' Donuts is brewing more than just coffee. We're brewing strength because we're stronger together. Donate at any Dunkin' location to support breast cancer awareness, and we'll match every dollar you give. Together, we're making a real difference for the Sister Breast Group. Tip, smile, support. When we stand together, we're stronger together because the Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
The Anchor Awards are just around the corner, and we're celebrating our amazing fishers. Want to be a part of the fun? Grab your tickets now at ticketflare.com/Anchor Awards. Tickets are just $60, and it's super easy to purchase. Click Buy Tickets, choose how many you want, and boom, your QR codes get sent straight to your inbox. All you got to do now is dress up, show up, and let us scan you in. Don't miss out. Get your tickets today. Let's honor our Legends of the Sea on November 16th at the Bahama Resort Convention Center.
Let's face it, life is hard. Give yourself peace of mind with LAMP plans at Doctors Hospital. Sign up today and enjoy the low-cost advantage. Get up to $5,000 in credit limit for non-covered services and 2 free nutritions. Choose your plan today by visiting doctorshosp.com/LAMP. We make healthcare easy.
A legacy of leadership. Join the International Third World Leadership Association in partnership with the Miles and Ruth Monroe Foundation for Legacy Weekend, celebrating the legacy of Dr. Miles Monroe and other visionary leaders. November 8th to the 9th, experience 3 powerful events. ITWLA hosts Legacy Leadership Lectures, honoring distinguished global leaders. November 9th, the Miles and Ruth Monroe Foundation presents Legacy Walk to Remember, 5K and 10K routes along West Bay Streets, Nassau, Bahamas. Then join us for the Legacy Reunion Concert, featuring Grammy-winning gospel artist Yolanda Adams and Sherwin Gardner at the Miles E. Monroe Diplomat Center.
Hey guys, it's Yolanda Adams. It's about to be a celebration November 8th through the 10th at the Miles E. Monroe Diplomat Center. I can't wait to see you. Come on.
Visit ITWLA.com for details. Don't miss Legacy Weekend.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, interactive and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Your final look at weather for the morning, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here is what's happening, folks. We've got a surface trough near the southeast Bahamas, along with a frontal boundary drifting across the northwest Bahamas. That's creating some unsettled weather, strong gusty winds, and rough seas throughout the country and into the weekend. boaters are advised to remain in port due to the hazardous marine conditions. And strong to near gale force winds are expected to begin across the northern and northwest Bahamas today and get into the central and southeast Bahamas by tomorrow. Flooding in low-lying and flood-prone areas also likely. Everyone's being advised to exercise caution along coastal roadways, and beachgoers in the northern and northwest Bahamas to stay out of the water. Again, strong to near gale force winds and rough seas with breaking waves of 10 to 12 feet in the northern and northwest and central Bahamas today, building to 11 to 13 feet by later. So that's all happening. We're expecting cloudy and partly cloudy conditions today across the country. Highs in the mid-80s, lows in the mid-70s. In your extended outlook for tomorrow, partly sunny, very windy with a chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the northern and northwest Bahamas. Partly cloudy and windy across the central and southeastern islands with scattered showers. That pattern will hold into the weekend and with improving conditions by Sunday into Monday with partly sunny and windy conditions with isolated showers and the chance of thunderstorms in the northern, cloudy to cloudy, windy with isolated showers and embedded thunderstorms in the central and southeast Bahamas. In the tropics, we are watching a couple of areas. East of the Leeward Islands, trough of low pressure, we've been telling about this for a week now, located several hundred miles east of the Leeward Islands, has a 30% chance of formation as it moves westward to west-northwest around 20 miles per hour, passing near the Greater Antilles over the weekend. And residents in the southern Bahamas should pay attention to that. We've also got a broad area of low pressure that has about a 20% chance of formation if it stays over open waters, while it moves slowly northwestward towards Central America. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And time for a final check of traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. And right now, we got a texter telling us about broken down cars on Blue Hill Road. We're seeing heavy traffic on Blue Hill Road. It is backed up quite a bit. So if you're heading northbound, St. Vincent Road straight through to Carmichael, all the way up to Independence Drive. Heavy traffic, especially north of Soldier Road this morning. Not looking pretty there at all. Traffic is backed up along Carmichael as well from just east of Fire Trail all the way to Blue Hill Road. And we've got Independence Drive, heavy traffic both directions, east and westbound. Not looking pretty there. You might want to find an alternate route. And that traffic is going to lead you straight into Tonic Williams Darling Highway. Heavy traffic to Bahamas Games Boulevard. And traffic both directions as you approach that roundabout, east and westbound. And then further west up to Milo Butler Highway. Heavy traffic there on Tonic Williams Darling Highway. Traffic on up to the Fire Trail roundabout if you're heading northbound. Your alternate route, Gladstone Road, also not looking pretty for you this morning north of Fire Trail. Elsewhere, we've got West Bay Street, heavy eastbound traffic near Saunders Beach on the way to the roundabout with New Providence Highway and heading into downtown near Arawak Key. Shirley Street looking busy for you from Eastern Road and Village Road all the way up to Mackey Street at this hour. Eastern Road still busy, just west of Fox Hill to Johnson Road. And Robinson Road not moving, just east and west of the Soldier and Prince Charles Drive intersection. So you will need your patience this morning if you need to be somewhere for 9 o'clock. Good luck to you. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
You get a fast car, I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove.
And we are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Laverne Gardner. And if you need to get somewhere, wouldn't it be better to have a new car? Right? No? Auto Wow financing is available at RBC, and it's a big weekend for cars, the BMDA New Car Show at the Mall Marathon. Here to tell us about some of the deals that RBC is offering. We are very pleased to have with us relationship managers and financial solutions from RBC, Natisha.meadows and Monique.mills. Ladies, great to have you with us. Good morning.
Morning. Good morning.
All right, so this is going to be a big show. And you all are, there's a lot of people out there offering deals, but what is going to set RBC apart?
Well, definitely our deals are going to start from now until December, wide window. And it's just not for right now, it's also for later. In December, you might decide, hey, I need a new car. You want to come down and visit us, but also the car show to probably look around to see what you want to get. But you don't have to wait until Saturday. You can start your shopping around from now. Just to see what's out there, see what's available, and probably get a jump start. And come to see us at KO Beach or Carmichael for the deals, whichever area is closer for you. Mm-hmm. All of RBC branches are offering the deal, but of course we would want to see you at KO Beach or Carmichael Branch.
Okay, all right. So what are these deals? Let's tell us what people can expect.
Okay, at RBC, you can enjoy no loan fee, up to 100% financing, special low interest rate, no payment for up to 45 days. Oh, wow. You can drive away with the vehicle, get in the vehicle, and you don't have to pay for 45 days. And we also offer up to 8 years repayment on the other deal. And like my colleagues say, will have a special interest rate on Friday and Saturday. It will not be just only for that day, because we have a promotion that's going on right now, our Christmas promotion, and that is until December 31st.
Oh, wow. Okay, so can you tell us what this special interest rate is going to be?
Well, we want to see you, so we definitely want you to come down to the branches.
I knew you were going to say that.
Definitely, we want to see you. We want you to come down to the branches, sit with the sales professionals. And it's just not for new cars. It's also for used cars.
Okay.
Yeah. So we know that in some instances, persons
Great,
aren't
that
there
was my
yet.
question.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, used cars
that was my
also.
question. I was going to say, is this for new cars only?
No, used cars also.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be the same interest rate for the new versus used, or?
It's not going to be the same interest rate, but I can promise you it's a very, very low rate.
So it's still special.
Very, very special.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you want to hear more, we want to see you.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, there's always a lot of skeptics and people like, we can't be encouraging people to be buying new cars. And we have too many cars on the island. So you heard the traffic report. What do you say to people? Because we got a text about people breaking down every day. We see people breaking down.
That's why they need a new car.
That's right, definitely. If you're breaking down, you need a new car.
They need to come out Friday and Saturday.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, talk to those folks who are like, don't put this burden on folks. What do you say to them?
Well, definitely we are sales professionals, so we're not going to offer you something that's out of your budget. So we're going to look at your whole financial picture and give you the best financial advice. Right now, today, you may not be ready for a new car, but you may be ready for a new used car or a car that's new to you. Because the car that you may have you on the side of the road, clogging up traffic. And we want to encourage you to get out of that situation and probably get you the best fit and provide the best solution that's good for you.
Yeah, and we've all been that person, hey? Scary stuff. Yeah, all right, so let's talk about it. What things that people need to keep in mind if you're like, okay, I think it's time. What do they need to do before they come to you or before they go to the show on Friday and Saturday?
Okay, definitely we know it's a tight space from now until Saturday, but if you can, we want to encourage you to visit the car lots. Get a quote so that you know what you have. Also, if you can, you may not be able to get your employment letter, but you can get a pay slip that would be able to like what you have deducted out, and we'll definitely be able to provide you with the best solution that's for you. We'd be able to say, okay, yep, you may be able to afford a payment within this range or that range, okay? And that looks different for each person. So definitely we would provide the best financial advice for that individual.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any age requirements? Any working, like length of time you've been on the job requirements? So what do people need to keep in mind there?
Okay, once you have been on your job for 6 months and you have, that's if your salary is your full time, but if you're wearable, you will have to be on your job for like 2 years. Age limit, we go up. We can go up to 65. We can go beyond 65 for financing because, you know, you have persons who are self-employed and there is no limit for self-employed person. Even, you know, sometimes even if you're, say, you're a pensioner, you're retired, we can even assist you also. We can factor whatever you're getting from your pension. And we can assist you with upgrading your vehicles. So we are here to assist everyone. And obviously, we have everyone.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I don't know if you said it, but if you're under 25, any issues there? Any special requirements?
No.
No. Just be working and on your job.
Just be gainfully employed.
Yeah. Right.
And I also like to mention, each time person's here, a new car, they always think $60,000, $70,000. $40,000, but I can tell you that each of the dealerships has an economical vehicle available. So you can get a 2023, 2024 car for maybe $20,000, $20-something thousand. Okay, so don't let that new car discourage you because you can pay $25,000 for a used car. I would always encourage persons to go and look around. We have many car dealerships out there, so you can go and look and see what may be the best vehicle for you based on your individual salary.
Absolutely. And this will be a good weekend. You have a one-stop shop. You don't have to go to all the dealerships. Just go to the mall.
Just go to the mall.
We'll be at the mall.
And that's for 2 days. So Friday and Saturday, we're going to be there all day. So we want to see everyone come down. And if you, and you know, we know that sometimes persons are, but on Saturday, I know they're going to be there until about 7. So we definitely want to see everybody come on down and see what's there, see what's out there. Speak to a sales professional at Cable Beach.
And Carmichael, you know, like she said, we will all be there.
Yeah.
But ask for us. If say you come to Monique.mills, we heard them on 96.9. We want to see Monique. We want to see Natisha. I will be there on Friday. I will be there on Saturday also.
Yeah.
Just look for us. Look for the blue.
Will anybody be at the bank at all? No,
Yes.
All right, so Laverne's in Grand Bahama. I know she wants to ask this. So what about people in Grand Bahama or the other islands? What can they do if they need a new vehicle?
So definitely at Grand Bahama and all of the other islands. We still have our promotion going on, our Christmas campaign happening. But I know for sure, Freeport Branch, you can go in Freeport Branch and speak to one of the sales professionals there. We have many. And they will be happy to assist you as well. We have Demita, the branch manager, and I'm sure everybody knows her in Freeport. So you can go down and she will be happy to direct you to the best sales professional for you.
I got another question about financing. Some people are very scared of that. But let's talk about some of the benefits of doing 100% financing.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody? Monique?
All right. So you don't have to be afraid. So in the past, you know, where it was when you come to get a vehicle, you had to do like an injection,
right?
Like 5% or 10% of what the vehicle costs. But we are going to finance. If the vehicle costs $25,000, we will finance $25,000 for you. If it's costs $95,000, we will do that financing for you. You would not have to do an injection. So that's what the 100% financing is all about for the vehicle. You would just be responsible for your comprehensive insurance for the vehicle, paying that.
But if you do have money to make the injection, do you recommend that?
I mean, you can, but there's always other things that you can use that money for. So you may decide that you want to do some renovations. You may decide that you want to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
So you can
and
always.
the insurance is not cheap.
And the
so
insurance,
yeah.
I wouldn't say that, but so
Yes,
if you want to, that injection, you could actually go towards your insurance, or you can save it towards something else. But if you do want to put something down, we wouldn't discourage you from putting something down. You can do that as well.
Yeah. Okay.
All right? And
Right.
that injection may shorten your time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Laverne, you were saying something?
No, I was saying excellent that
Yeah.
if you had something that you wanted to put down, like you could do that with no penalty and, shorten your loan time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So remind folks, are you going to be at any special spot at the mall, or are you just going to be roving around? How's it going to work on Friday and Saturday?
So on both those days, we are going to be moving around, because if we stay in one spot, we wouldn't see all of the cars. All of the cars are going to be about the mall area.
Yeah.
So we want to encourage that we touch everyone. So it's not just going to be one branch there. All of the branches are going to be there, present. So if you may have a sales professional that you may be closer with, you can go ahead and speak to that person. But all of us are going to be there at some point.
Yeah.
On both days.
It's going to be exciting. Any idea about some of the cars? You have any sneak peek of anything yet?
What was interesting enough, a lot of the car dealerships bought in cars for the car show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's going to
So
be
it's going to be a
fun.
lot of new cars.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. All right, so again, come and see Natisha.meadows or Monique.mills at the auto show this Friday and Saturday at the Mall Marathon. Again, give us those hours. When you're going to be there?
Well, I'm going to be there on Saturday, so I plan to get there at 10 o'clock. But you can always come and visit me at the branch, Cable Beach,
Okay.
if you can't make it.
And Monique, you said you're going to
I'm
be there
going
both
to be
days.
there both days, yes, from 9 a.m.
And
both
as I said,
days.
look for the RBC folks.
Yes.
In the
In the
blue.
blues, yes.
Okay. Thank you for being here, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
having
All
us.
right. We're going to take a break for news and be back with Morning Blend Business in just a bit. Stay with us.
Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs and finally see what it means to be living.
Here's the Sure-winning art store moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylic stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and
Shell?
pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I don't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil shrimp,
clays.
stew shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Fast, reliable, and impactful printing services? Look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Hosted PBX Systems is an ideal solution for businesses seeking to maintain strong connections with your team and your vendors with flexibility, efficiency, and cost effectiveness. Hosted PBX service offers a budget-friendly alternative to traditional phone systems. Flexible, affordable, efficient, hosted PBX systems from a live business. Call us today for more details. 601-8911 in Nassau and 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Enter to win big at the Entrepreneurship Think Tank, brought to you by the Tourism Development Corporation. Learn from top industry professionals on how to launch, scale and expand your business all for free. Sign up today to win jackpot prizes set to take your business to the next level. It's all happening at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium on October 15th at 5:45 p.m. Don't wait. Sign up today at tdcbahamas.com.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, October 17th, 2024. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. All right, so this morning we're going to be talking with Bahamas Development Bank, getting an update on their SDG Concessional Loan Fund program. And more from them. That's coming up in just a few. But right now, let's talk about what's in the business news with your morning business report. In your morning business report, the government tabling in the House of Assembly the Domestic Minimum Top-Up Tax Bill 2024. That bill seeks to impose a domestic tax on the profits of multinational entities operating in the Bahamas with at least 750 million euros, or about $818 million in annual global returns. Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, who tabled the bill on behalf of Prime Minister Philip Davis, gave an outline of what to expect.
This bill seeks to introduce an effective tax rate of 15% for in-scope multinational enterprises, MNEs, operating in the Bahamas that have annual consolidated revenue of or above 750 million euros, or approximately $818 million. At this threshold, very few Bahamian-owned and operated businesses would be impacted. I emphasize, Madam Speaker, that this impacts only businesses with a consolidated revenue of over 750 million, $818 million equivalent. In addition, with the passage of this bill, the Bahamas would be allowed to retain tax revenues and profits of these entities that would otherwise be subjected to top-up tax in another jurisdiction under the OECD's income inclusion rule or the under-taxed profit rule. As a matter of policy, this administration has already stated that the lion's share of revenue from this bill would be directed to debt reduction and reducing the cost of living for ordinary Bahamians.
And you can read more about that in today's Guardian Business section. The government signing a heads of agreement with Florida-based developer Two Roads Development for a $275 million Four Seasons branded condo hotel at the Ocean Club, which will employ 448 people during its construction phase and generate 200 full-time employees when complete. Prime Minister Philip Davis, during the signing, said that it marked another milestone in the island's shared story of growth and progress. He said, with the capital investment of $270 million, a symbol of resilience and dynamism in the economy. The Ministry of Labor and the Public Service has released a summary of the first draft of a white paper on various labor legislative reforms. Labor and Public Service Minister Pia Glover-Roll, referring to the white paper as a huge step forward in the ministry's transformative agenda. The recommendations in the white paper include challenges or changes to key legislation such as the Employment Act, Industrial Relations Act, Public Service Act, and general orders. The comprehensive list of 255 recommendations are focused on enhancing worker protections, promoting business growth, and ensuring fair and inclusive labor practices. There's more on this in today's Guardian Business section. An Association of Bahamas Marinas President Peter Morey telling Guardian Business that his members can't compete with the government on engaging foreign yacht brokers and wants legislation changed to allow Bahamian brokers to engage in retail charter brokerage. Morey further claiming that the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation is dealing with foreign brokers over Bahamian brokers when there is no need for this. A yacht broker is a specialist who serves buyers as a representative for the sale or purchase of a yacht or boat. Overseas, Americans stepped up their purchases to retailers last month as low unemployment, steady pay gains, and rising stock and home values helped sustain their willingness to spend despite higher prices. Retail sales rose 0.4% from August to September, according to the latest from the Commerce Department released today. That's up 0.1% the previous month and the third straight increase. Online retailers, restaurants, and grocery stores all reported higher sales. Sales at gas stations fell because of lower pump prices. The retail sales figures aren't adjusted for inflation, and the prices of goods fell slightly last month. With the U.S. presidential election in its final weeks, Thursday's figures provided the latest sign that household spending is fueling a steady economic expansion, while inflation has cooled. In his campaign for the White House, Donald Trump has insisted that sweeping new tariffs on all imports and lower corporate taxes are needed to deliver healthy growth. Meanwhile, Vice President countered expanding tax credits to families with children and subsidizing home construction to try to lower housing costs. And monstrous hurricanes Helene and Milton caused so much complex havoc that damages are still being added up. But government and private experts say that they will likely join the infamous ranks of Katrina, Sandy, and Harvey as super costly $50 billion plus killers. Making that even more painful is that most of the damage, 95% or more of Helene's case, was not insured, putting victims in a deeper financial hole. 95%. Storm deaths have been dropping over time, although Helene was an exception. But even adjusted for inflation, damages from intense storms are skyrocketing because people are building in harm's way, rebuilding costs are rising faster than inflation, and human-caused climate change are making storms stronger and wetter. In the last 45 years, and adjusted for inflation, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has counted 396 weather disasters that caused dollars in damage. 63 of those were hurricanes or tropical storms. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Wednesday, your market movers, AML Foods Limited, moving 945 shares, closing unchanged at $5.50. Consolidated Water, up 8 cents, closing at $5.27. Emira Incorporated, up 7 cents, closing at $9.43. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,924.75, up 0.15. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter team. Visit us at cfal.com CFAL.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
The future of driving is here, and it's electric. Welcome to EV City, Easy Car Sales' new home for electric vehicles. Whether you want an affordable model or a luxury ride, EV City has the perfect electric car for you. Don't just take our word for it. Come test drive the power, the smoothness, and the savings. You'll love electric after just one ride. Cut your driving costs in half and say goodbye to gas stations for good. Visit EV City on the highway through the Solomon Service Road and drive into the future today.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move. 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
And we are back with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And it's time for our guest this morning. We are talking with the head of the Strategic Developments and Initiatives Unit at the Bahamas Development Bank. Samaya Cargill joining us. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. It's great to be here.
All right, so we're going to learn more about the SDG Concessional Loan Fund. And we found out about this a few months back. We had you all on the show. But remind folks exactly what this is.
Okay, great. So BDB is proud to be the National Coordinating Authority for the Joint SDG Fund project. It's the first successful proposal to the Joint SDG Fund. So we're trying to channel international finance to local Bahamian businesses and help them to grow, scale, and access. Through the SDG Fund loan, businesses can access financing with really incredible terms. Interest rates between 0 and 2% for the first 2 years, with a loan value of up to $100,000. So whether you're looking to expand or just getting your start, this program could be the boost that your business needs to reach the next level. And it's especially targeted at persons who are in the tourism, agriculture, or the creative industry sector, and businesses that are owned by, led by, or of benefit to women, youth, or persons with disabilities. So we're really encouraging people, if you think you fall into one of those categories, or if you're not sure, you can still reach out to us and ask to come and apply for this financing. And the reason I'm on your show today is to say that we have got a lot of interest and we've extended the deadline. So previously, the deadline was September 13th, but we got a bit of an extension.
Okay.
I don't want to say the extension is November 8th, but that's if you have a perfect application. Most people don't have a perfect application. They need a little bit of time to work with our credit team, some remaining documents, maybe a business summary or financial statements. So what I want to say is if you are interested, apply as soon as possible.
Okay, all right. So
Good morning, Samaya.
Mhm.
Sorry, Dwight. What are your requirements in terms of documentation? Yes, complete the application, but what do they also need to provide you with? A business plan? What else?
So we're also looking for some sort of financial statements. We prefer, if you're an existing business, we'd like to see at least 2 years of financial statements. What has your business been doing? That allows us to know whether or not you can afford to basically get a loan. And then we're also looking for things like KYC documents. You'd be surprised how many people can't provide us with things like a passport or any other type of address. So those are the types of documents that we're looking for. Your business plan may need to be longer or shorter depending on how much money that you're looking for. So if you're just looking for $20,000, then you probably need maybe a 10-page summary. But if you're looking for, say, $500,000, we'd like to see a little bit more. But the important thing is to come in, talk to us, or call us and speak to a credit officer to see precisely what you need for your business. There are also some sector-specific things. So let's say you're in tourism. you're a bone fisher and you want to get a boat, we're going to want to see a quote for your boat. We may want to see some sort of certification to show that you are qualified to do. Really is kind of specific to the application.
So do you have to be an existing business?
You don't have to be an existing business, but it is easier if you are an existing business because we can see what exactly it is that you've been doing. However, we're a development bank and we want to see impact. So if you have a really strong business plan, if you can say, I've been working in this sector, I understand my market, I'm very clear about what it is that I want to do, then absolutely you should apply. I can say that some of the persons who have already been approved for this financing are not existing businesses. They are startups.
Okay. So you said you recommend that you should come in before you apply just to find out. Yeah?
You don't have to physically come into the bank. You can call us or you can send us an email at info@bdb.gov.bs. You can talk to one of our credit officers, get a sense of what your application is going to need, and then submit an application online.
Okay, so that's great. So the last time we had you guys on, there were lots of questions about who the groups that you mentioned, who this is targeted to. So again, it's mainly for youth, and let's define that youth.
Okay, so it's mainly for women. And it's for businesses that are owned by, led by, or of benefit to women, youth, and persons with disabilities. So what exactly does that mean? Owned by means that you are a founder of the business. And when we say owned by, we're not saying 100% owned by. We're saying like 50% owned by. So a number of the businesses that have already applied and are in our pipeline are actually what we call 50-50 businesses. They're a husband and a wife who are applying together. And you'd be surprised how many businesses are husband and wives. Those businesses are eligible.
Okay.
If you are a male founder and you have a lot of women who are employed by you, or if you have a lot of women in your senior leadership, we would consider that of led by or of benefit to. So the categories are actually quite broad. When we say youth, we're talking about people who are under 35. So is your business founded by somebody who is currently under 35? Is it led by, you have a lot of young people on your staff or young people in leadership? Is your product or service of benefit of somehow to young people? Those categories are also open. So it's not as straightforward as just to say, okay, only women, only young people, only persons with disabilities. It's a much broader segment than that.
Right. So, and if I just because of this go and hire a bunch of women, would that be a problem?
Well, we actually want to see you do things like that.
Okay.
That's what our funding is for. We want to make an impact with companies to understand that if you want to access this type of international concessional financing, you have to make adjustments in your business models. And women are great employees, so I'm sure it would be, of benefit to your business.
Right.
If you say, I want to change the composition of my board so that I can get access to this funding, that's fantastic.
Wow. Okay. I'm very curious with the companies geared towards persons with disabilities. How's that response been?
Unfortunately, we haven't seen very many applications with persons with disabilities. It's actually something that the United Nations has raised with us. They're saying, we really want to see more persons with disabilities. And we have gone out and we've canvassed and we've talked to the public and talked to disability access groups. But we just haven't seen the applications. So if your business is of benefit to, if you have disability persons, if you hire persons with for this financing because you are eligible.
What if you are not a nonprofit entity and you just want to help people with maybe disabilities? Are you able to apply for funding in this regard?
So this funding is not geared toward nonprofits because we're a bank. We want to see you be profitable. So an example for a business that might help persons with disabilities is, let's say I'm in the tourism sector and I provide a service for persons who are in wheelchairs to be able to go out onto the beach or provide accessibility services to them. That's the type of business that we're looking for. We just haven't seen any.
Okay. All right. You said the deadline is November 8th.
Well, I would encourage people to say that if you put in your application after November 8th, it's very unlikely that you're going to meet our internal deadline to get everything in and everything done for this program. If you put it on November 8th and you have an absolutely perfect application, then you might be able to get in. But as I say, most people do not have perfect applications, and that's fine and acceptable. We will work with you to fix any issues that you have. So do not wait until November.
Right.
I mean, don't even wait till the end of next week. Just get your application in so that we can see you in our pipeline, we can reach out to you, and we can start processing.
Yeah. And how soon would you hear from of maybe it's been a favorable response to it? You're going to get the go ahead. How soon can one expect to get a response?
Absolutely everybody that applies for this program is going to have a response by December 1st.
Okay. All right. And time's going, so that's not far. That's not far at all.
Not far at all.
All right. So if you don't fit into any of the criteria, what is available to you out there at the Bahamas Development Bank?
Okay, sure. So we have, of course, our general loan program that is open to persons who are in tourism, manufacturing, agriculture, all of our traditional segments. We also have 100% financing for electric vehicles, and that's something that we're going to be talking about a little bit more. We are bringing some new partners onto our EV financing program, so look out for that. So if you're a business owner, you want to get maybe a new taxi, you want to get a van, you want to get some sort of transportation, we are encouraging you to go electric. We have a partnership program with the Tourism Development Corporation that has launched. It's called the GLOW program. It is the grant loan for business, and you're seeking up to $20,000 in financing, then you can get $5,000 in grant financing from TDC and $15,000 in loan financing from the Bahamas Development Bank. So we encourage you, if you want to get a little bit more information about that program, to reach out to us at sdi@bdb.gov.bs.
And so the requirements are the same for all of your programs?
Yes.
Yep.
So
Okay.
the requirements are basically the same for all of the programs that I just mentioned. The EV program is a little bit more strict because it is targeted specifically at existing businesses, and that means that we can adjudicate the loans very quickly. We have a special decision-making process for that, so that you can get your funding approved within like 3 weeks. And so that's why it's geared towards existing businesses. We just look at your cash positions and we say, okay, you can afford this vehicle, 100% financing it is.
Okay. Laverne's messaging me, Samaya. She says, the texter is about to send a message about women having all these advantages. And Laverne, he did. He texted us. We have his. He did.
Of course he would.
Yeah, we have his number. He says, "I'm interested in the loan as a man. Can I take advantage of this opportunity?" Well, you already said this is. You already laid out the criteria.
If he's under 35, he can.
If he's under 35, he can. I hope you heard that, texter. And I already asked you about it. All the opportunities available for just males.
Well, we don't currently have any men's initiatives right now, but it is something that we are talking about internally. We are an equity-focused institution, and so equity means that we're trying to balance the scales essentially. Right now, internationally, there's a lot of funding out there for women, so we're trying to channel that, but we are looking for opportunities to support men and boys.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, other than these specific programs right here, like the SDG concessional loan, men can apply for anything, right?
Absolutely, men can apply for anything. While we were doing the research for this program, actually, we found that men tend to ask for more money. They tend to get more money. They're more ambitious. Even if they have a non-performing loan, they have no problem going to the bank and saying, well, my business isn't paying you back, but I still need more money. Men are very audacious.
Bold.
And so they're very bold. And so what we want women to be is a bit more bold with their businesses. Women tend to focus and say, hey, this loan, I have to take care of my children. I have to, I have so many responsibilities. Women tend to worry a bit more about those things. And so we want with this concessional loan fund program to reduce some of that worry by cutting the interest rate. So it's a little bit more accessible.
We need a psychologist to try to help us understand what that's about, those differences, eh?
Yeah, I don't want to get into it.
No,
because
you don't
it'll
need
start
to
a
do that.
whole conversation
Right,
this
that's
morning.
a whole other show.
Exactly.
All right, so this texter says here, nice to hear that the bank is reaching out to help younger persons. I remember when I was at that age with a great plan and got refused by, I don't know, they're saying the bank. I don't know if they mean you guys, because I didn't have the cash to match the loan. Have your policies changed or adjusted to reflect, or is this because this is a special program here?
So the caller may be talking about a lack of collateral, and that is something that we try to address as best as we can whenever we see it come up, and we really strongly believe in a business. So BDB is one of the few banks or few institutions that we take chattel mortgages, which means if you don't have cash or if you don't have land, we will take a charge over the assets itself that you're financing itself. So if you were a restaurant, we'll just take a charge on your equipment, for example. And then we also have some great partners now with, say, the SBDC, who provides that collateral guarantee. So if we really believe in your product, always refer you to SBDC so that you can go through their program and access that collateral guarantee and then come back to the bank and your collateral deficit would have been corrected.
Okay. All right. Good information. Samaya Cargill, we're talking with Samaya Cargill with the Bahamas Development Bank. If you have any questions, give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Family Islands, these opportunities are available for Family Islands as well?
Absolutely. So BDB is very focused on supporting the Family Islands. This is a nationwide program. We do have initiatives that are aimed at specific Family Islands. For example, the work that we're doing with Disney on Eleuthera, specifically South Eleuthera, but this is a nationwide program.
Okay. Excellent stuff. What else can people expect, especially with the New Year fast approaching? What others do you have on tap?
We have some amazing products that are coming out. And so we'll be back hopefully soon to talk about those. I think that the public will be pleasantly surprised about the new direction that BDB is heading in. We have heard your cries in terms of accessibility of finance and the general need for more support. So what you see us doing in the next iteration or in the short term, it's going to be things that we've never done before to better meet the needs of Bahamians. And we'll be very happy to come back on your show and talk about those.
Okay, that sounds amazing. All right, so one more time, remind people, because time is going, it's mid-October already, Samaya, if you can believe that. Let people know about the SDG Concessional Loan Fund. It's been extended, but that doesn't mean that you can relax. You need to get going, right?
Exactly. So the Joint SDG Fund concessional loan, it means that you can access up to $100,000 in financing at interest rates between 0% and 2%. And this is geared towards people in tourism, agriculture, or the creative industries. And it's for businesses that are owned by women, youth, and persons with disabilities. So we really encourage you to come and access this money so that you have the flexibility to grow, scale, and access more funding in the future.
Okay. Well, and one more time, let people know how they get this information to you or find out more information about it.
Okay, so reach out to us at 702-5700 if you want to call us, or you can send us an email at info, I-N-F-O, @bdb.gov.bs.
Thank you so much, Samaya Cargill with the Bahamas Development Bank. Appreciate talking with you always. And great information, as we said. All right, we're going to take a break and be back with more, the final few minutes of Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Thanks again.
Bahamas, you all ready? The biggest and best festival is back. It's the International Cultural Wine and Food Festival, October 19th and 20th, right at the historic Fort Charlotte. From 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday and 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday, we're bringing you food, drinks, and culture from all over the world. That's right, 20 countries, no passport needed. You hungry yet? And use your sign dollar digital currency or pay cash at the gate. We more than like that. And for just $10 in advance, $15 at the gate, you can eat, drink, and party with the world. And if you're bringing the kids, they get it for just $3 in advance. And Saturday night, don't miss the vibes, because from 7 to 10 p.m., the one and only Visage Band is hitting the stage to keep the energy high. Plus, we get plenty parking, so no need to worry about that. Get your advance tickets today. Check out our website and Facebook for pre-sale info. Fort Charlotte, October 19th and 20th. Be there or miss out on the best time of the year. It's the International Cultural Wine and Food Festival. Don't forget about the spooky haunted house.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
And we are back with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Our final few minutes here. So Laverne, at the top of the show, we were talking about corporate income tax, the corporate income tax bill tabled in the House, a law to apply to large multinational enterprises. Right? All right, so just a little more on this in today's Guardian Business section. Our Candia Dame's writing about it. So, in line with the options permitted by the EU Pillar 2 Directive, the bill provides for the introduction of a tax that is intended to be a qualified domestic minimum top-up tax, QDMTT. Cooper says that the bill reflects comments received during the public consultation period, which was extended by 2 weeks and ended on September 30th. So in the House, Cooper said that the government has completed the public consultation process and engaged with international agencies, inclusive of the OECD, and we are aware of the DMTT bill. Right, so you got to remember that. That's the domestic minimum top-up tax bill. DMTT, as drafted, is consistent with the OECD Globe Model Rules and meets the requirements to be a qualified domestic minimum top-up tax in respect of which the QDMTT safe harbor can be applied. There's a lot of technical terms there, and in the near future we'll get some tax experts to break it down as simply as possible for the rest of us, but this is for the high rollers. They need to be paying attention. He said that during the debate, the government side will go through the bill in detail and provide an analysis of the policy considerations which went into the bill. The bill makes provision for the legislation to apply to the entire Bahamas, including the port area in Grand Bahama. The government has described the DMTT bill as a necessary interim measure as it continues to evaluate broader corporate tax reforms. Cooper noted that the consultation to introduce some form of incentives to reduce the cost of doing business in the Bahamas. He said these incentives will be laid out in a companion piece of legislation. So he says, quote, these incentives would, when introduced, impact all businesses, not just businesses which qualify for the DMTT. In this respect, the government within this year and prior to any tax becoming payable under the DMTT will introduce legislation that will lay out the framework for such incentives in a manner that will qualify under the GLOBE rules. He said because of the proposed impact on all businesses, the proposed legislation would require public consultation. And he says, quote, in the consultation process with the DMTT, several respondents suggested that any new incentive regime be aligned with attracting new business development in key economic activity, namely headquarters, tourism, finance, technology, and energy. And in this regard, consideration could also be given to incentives associated with employment, capital expenditures, training, local content spend, research and development costs, the creative industry, and extra. Cooper said the government acknowledges the importance of developing this new regime, which would need to apply broadly across business in the Bahamas. And he said, quote, consequently, the view was taken that a separate bill be crafted to reflect the final position of the government and submitted for consideration during the mid-year budget exercise. The DMTT bill makes provision for consequential amendments to the Business License Act 2023 to exempt from business license tax entities that are subject to DMTT in order to avoid double taxation. All right, so you hear that there, incentives. People have been talking about that for a long time, and might get a lot of people to be donating to causes that we struggle to find financing for. If that could be a tax write-off, maybe. It seems that's the direction they're going in, and you've wondered why we haven't been there before. But we want to get your reaction to all of this, what you're hearing so far about this. It's been a long time coming and still apparently just the beginning step in all of this. Tell us what you think. 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. You can call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. What do you make of it, Laverne? What do you hear? And then what will that be an issue with Grand Bahama? Apparently, some there seem to think nothing should apply to the port area because of the Creek Agreement, but does that sound like that could be in violation? I don't think so, but what do you make of it?
I'm not sure that it will be in violation, but I'd also like to, I probably have to read more and make a comparison to see how that works. Because, there are certain exemptions within the port area already. So I'm not sure. I'm very curious, though, about having these taxes and that these companies would have to pay within that kind of a bracket. It's going to be allocated, the fund would be allocated to what?
What
did it say?
Yeah. He said that in the clip we played. We might need to play that again. Yeah, can we do that? Let's do that again, Mr. Producer. We'll play that clip again so you can hear. But he did talk about it. Let's do that.
Right.
And then we'll get to your calls and more. So this is the Deputy Prime Minister in the House yesterday. As soon as we pull it up, we'll play it for you.
Okay.
And I think we're going to it right now.
This bill seeks to introduce an effective tax rate of 15% for in-scope multinational enterprises, MNEs, operating in the Bahamas that have annual consolidated revenue of or above 750 million euros or approximately $818 million. At this threshold, very few Bahamian-owned and operated businesses would be impacted. I emphasize, Madam Speaker, that this impacts only businesses with a consolidated revenue of over 750 million euros and approximately $818 million equivalent. In addition, with the passage of this bill, the Bahamas would be allowed to retain tax revenues and profits of these entities that would otherwise be subjected to top-up tax in another jurisdiction under the OECD's income inclusion rule or the undertaxed profit rule. As a matter of policy, this administration has already stated that the lion's share of revenue from this bill would be directed to debt reduction and reducing the cost of living for ordinary Bahamians.
Ma'am.
Okay, so you heard that there. Reducing the cost of living and debt reduction. Okay.
And that's gonna, excuse me, and they're gonna legislate that. Because I mean, you could say that, but
As a matter of policy, already stated that the lion's share of the revenue from this bill will be dedicated to debt reduction and reducing the cost of living for ordinary Bahamians. The lion's share. The lion's share.
no, but it's just important for me that if they're saying this, then we got to make sure that that's legislated, because you could say it, but if it isn't legislated, it's not like we have 15 million accounts. Everything goes into the consolidated fund, but you legislate, if I understand correctly, that certain resources should be for a specific thing. So if this is what we're doing, then we need to make sure that we have that in writing, that whatever that is, the lion's share, whatever that works out to in dollars and cents, does actually go to what is supposed to be going to.
Yes.
Because we've had taxes mentioned and put on us before.
Yes.
Not that we fall into this category. And originally, when it was introduced, it was said that it was to be allocated to go towards a particular thing.
Yeah.
However, I don't believe that was actually, it was said verbally, policy into law. And so funds then could go, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we do.
So we don't want to fall into that again.
We've got a couple calls calling in, some text messages. This texter says, yes, texter is Lion, L-I-N share. Lion share. Not any other word that you might have heard. Good morning, caller. Right, okay, caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning to both of you. The word is lion, L-Y-N-G. Dwight.
What?
The lying share.
No. Lion, roar. You need to stop.
I knew you were going to call
You need to stop.
And do a play on that. I knew you were.
Stop it.
I should have put money on that.
Right. See, here's the thing, though, Dwight. We heard the same thing about VAT, right? Let me tell you what policy is. Policy is spoken. So whatever the minister says today, and an hour later, if he changes his mind, that changes with spoken. And Laverne, you're right. Put it in legislation, and it becomes what you say it will be, but not because something you could say.
You all have some sort of syndrome. Get over the past. We're looking to the future.
No,
we're going to change our ways.
So this minister says that this is what it is, right? When we kick them out of office in 2 years, what will the next minister say?
Oh,
but if it's legislation, it is concrete. It is set in concrete. It's fixed.
Absolutely.
That goes for these very specifically. But just let me say, on Grand Bahama, there's about 4 companies or 5 companies. But you have to understand that the revenue from these companies is where they will be taxed in their own jurisdiction. The question is, does the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement apply to them in the fact that they don't have to pay revenue, but they have to pay it in some other jurisdiction? Do they now opt to pay it here as opposed to be there? And that's the discussion we have to speak about, is that how does it benefit us in regards to that? And I don't think, in principle, it violates the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement, because if they don't pay it here, they would definitely pay it someplace else.
Interesting.
Thank you.
It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. But yeah, great stuff. Thank you very much. All right. Hey, before I go, I have to tell you about this. Saturdays are about to get a whole lot more interesting. Where's my script? I lost it. But our all-new Saturday lineup premieres Saturday coming, the 19th. Why am I hearing myself?
I can hear you too.
Yeah, what's that? Okay, so that's all this Saturday after the eye-opener. You've got the accredited from 10th year seniors. You've got a new show, The Happy Hour with Deandra Cartwright. You've got Tel Testania making its return. One Blue Bahamas from Brief. and joining University Drive as well. So stay tuned. Tune in this Saturday and every Saturday here on Guardian Radio. Laverne Gardner, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Always a pleasure.
Great discussions today. I'll talk with you again next week. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock coming up next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.